Hey everybody, welcome back. For those of you that are watching this for the first time, I'm Scott Franklin. For those of you that attended the class, welcome back. You know who I am. What we're going to be covering today in this video tutorial is what to say with what to say with the buyer on our initial phone call or initial contact with them, whether it's a call from a realtor referral, whether it's a call from one of our car magnets, yard stake signs, whatever, however they're calling us. There's some things that you should always cover with the potential buyers when you talk to them. And if I didn't suggest this in class, I know I suggested this on the what to say with the sellers when they call, in the lengthy tutorial that's above this, is if you're serious about doing this business, and I think most of you are, that have become members of the site, have attended the class, and decided to take things to the next level, I highly recommend that you go to googlevoice.com and set up a free number that will ring to your cell phone. It's a separate phone number that you put on your advertisements. That way you can track where your advertising dollars are working. So that way you don't miss a call. If you saw a call coming into your regular cell phone number or your home phone number that you didn't recognize, you might not pick it up. You might be reluctant to answer that phone call, but you can go to googlevoice.com, get a free telephone number. It rings. You can put a distinctive ringtone on it, so you know that when it's ringing, it is somebody that's actually calling off of some of your marketing efforts. And that's really the whole idea of the ball game, is to if you ain't got nobody calling you, you ain't making no money. I mean, you need to really kind of focus on getting some people to call you. You are going to have a lot more people calling on the buying side than you will on the selling side. So it's real important that you learn how to handle these phone calls and to handle these people. Everybody's not going to be nice. Some people are going to be short. Some people are going to be rude. And they're going to want to they're going to test you. But if you know how to handle that and posture yourself with a position of authority right away, you're going to fare out better in these deals. And some folks you're just going to not want to deal with, and so be it. I mean, you'll be able to tell right away. Remember, you've got what they want. Someone's calling you off of a sign that says either rent to own, lease to own. I have properties for rent to own, lease to own specials, lease terms, contract to own. They're calling you because you've got what they want. So, you've got the whole kit and caboodle with you. So you've got to take that posture that you've got what they want. Now, be very professional, be nice, be kind, be empathetic, because they're going through a circumstance as well that's prompting them to give you a call as opposed to going to a bank and getting a regular mortgage. So once we can solve that problem, get on their side and offer what we have to them, then that's when we're going to pair our motivated seller up with our challenged buyer, and that's when we get paid. So that's really the whole point of all this together. So from the initial phone call, again, I would suggest you getting a Google Voice telephone number, or one that's going to have a distinctive ring to where you can tell that it's someone calling off of some of your marketing efforts, and be professional. I can't tell you how many people I've called or how many signs on my competition I've called just to see how they act, how they deal with their folks, and believe it or not, the way you deal with people is going to determine on whether or not you get these deals. So when your phone rings, ring, 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 ring. Hi, Franklin Properties. This is Scott. How may I help you? Hi, this is Scott with Franklin Properties. How can I help you? I mean, you'd be surprised at how many people just, hello. Hey, no, that's us. Yeah, I've got some signs out. What's going on? I mean, it's a whole different demeanor and a whole different onset to your relationship with this buyer up front. You want to set the tone. Someone gives me a call, ring, 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 ring. Hi, thanks for calling Hi, thanks for calling Franklin Properties. This is Scott. How may I help you? And then they're going to tell you, well, Scott, I'm calling off of a sign you had on, 3rd and Muhammad Ali, or wherever you have the sign, or Elmore and Duncan, wherever it is. It makes no difference on the name here. But I'm calling off a sign you had. I saw your stake sign at the intersection of Shelbyville Road and LaGrange Road. Can you tell me about what you have? John, I don't know the name's John yet, but I'd be happy to help you with that. Let me just get a little bit of basic information from you, and then I can tell you about our program, see if it's a fit for you, and then we'll go from there, okay? Sometimes they're not going to want to do that. Well, Scott, can you just tell me what you have and where it is? I really need to know, what we're looking at here. I just called. You said you had some house for sale. What do you have for sale? I understand that, and I'm happy to tell you what I have for sale, but in order for me to even see if you fit for some of our programs, I need to find out that these programs are going to be right for you. Otherwise, it doesn't matter what I have for sale. I mean, if you're not molded into our program, it doesn't matter what I have for sale. So if you'll just answer a few questions for me, I can get some information out your way and see if it's something that might work for you. Now, is this a good number that you've called from that I can call you back in case we get disconnected? Yes. And with whom am I speaking? John. Well, John, great. Just let me ask you this: were you looking, when you called the sign, are you looking to rent? Or are you looking to buy something on a rent-to-own or lease-to-own basis? This is real important. There's a questionnaire I've given everybody in the class, or I didn't give everybody in the class. Those that purchase the class and have the site, you have access to this questionnaire. But there's some things you need to know on whether or not they're going to fit into your program or not. And one of which is, are you looking to rent or are you looking to buy? If they're looking to rent, it's not going to fit your program. Well, John, if you're just looking to rent, I wish you the best. My programs are on lease to own, rent to own. I look to put folks in there that are going to buy the property within 12 to 24 months and make it their own. We help them buy that property. If you're just looking to rent, I'll tell you what I'll do. I come across properties all the time. Maybe I'll come across one that we do have the option just to rent on it. I'd be happy to give you a shout back. It's just a good number to give you a call back on, that we can go over some details from there. If that's the case, if they're just looking to rent, push on. Have a nice day. See ya. No, Scott, I'm actually looking to buy. I'm looking to rent to own. Well, great. Sure, no problem at all. Let me just ask you a few questions here, and again, see if this is going to be something that we can work together on and see if it's going to fit for you. Number one, how did you hear about us? What site did you call off of? I do this because I want to know where people are calling from, where they're seeing it, where it's working. If it was an ad in the local, like a local alternative newspaper or a Thrifty Nickel or a car sign, I want to know, because I want to make sure that I keep advertising and keep pushing those efforts forward in that medium where they called from. So that's real important to me. John, where'd you hear about us, if you don't mind my asking? Or if it was a realtor referral, I want to make sure that if my partner Lola sent me a deal on someone that we're going to put a lease option in, that we make sure that we build in the price of the commission down the road for her if he ends up being a client of ours and moving forward through the process. So that's real important. We know that they're looking to buy, and then I ask them, well, John, let me ask you this: where are you living now, and how much are you paying for your monthly rent? These are real important because we're trying to fill out exactly how much money they've got to spend every single month. If they tell us, well, I've been there 2 years, I'm spending $950 a month. Well, John, since this is a buy program, what's the most that you can put down if we were to find a house for you on a rent-to-own basis that worked for you? What's the most amount of money you have to put down on a new home? And the way that's worded is very important. What's the most you have to put down is not saying, John, do you have 3 to 5% down? And the reason I say what's the most you have to put down is because if I only ask for, well, John, if I know a property and I say I need 3 to 5% down, and we know it's a $150,000 house, they're going to come up magically with 3 to 5% down if they want it. What if they've got 10% down? I mean, to me, what's the most you can put down and not tell them a number? I usually am going to get more than 3 to 5% down. Well, Scott, I've got $7,000 to put down in a new house. Well, then my answer is always, well, that's typically about right. That's typically about what we look for on these programs, for you to have some sweat in the game, and it looks good on paper when we're getting you qualified as well. So that's a good amount down. That's definitely going to work for the program. Now, John, let me ask you this: what's the most that you are willing to pay monthly to get into a new home? I know you're paying $950 right now. Were you wanting to stay at that $950 mark, or what's the most you're willing to go up to get into a new home? I want to see what the comfort level is here, because I need to know where I can put them and where I can make some money on a monthly basis from the house I'm going to put them in. Because if I've got a property that I'm only paying $800 a month for, and my seller's mortgage is $800 a month, and I can get $1,000 a month from John, and John's got $7,000 to put down, or 3 to 5% minimum, we'll never tell them 3 to 5, but if they tell us their most, it happens to be that 3 to 5% number, guess what? It's always the same answer. Great, John, that's about what we're looking for. The answer is always, unless it's too little, unless it's a very small amount they have to put down, well, I've got about 500 to put down. Well, John, what we're really looking for on our particular properties is about 5% down, 3 to 5% down. So that's when if somebody tells you they've got very little to put down, that's when you tell them you typically look for 3 to 5% to put down. So what's the most you can put down on one of these properties? What's the most you can afford per month on going into a new home? Now, if you get into this, and some of these folks, they're combative. Well, Scott, I'm calling you to see what you have. I didn't know I was going to be going through all these questions. Can you just tell me what you have and where it is? John, John, this is not a one-size-fits-all program. And unfortunately, I don't want to waste your time, and I definitely don't want to waste mine. before I even tell you any properties that I have, I want to make sure that you're going to be a fit for them. There's no sense spinning your wheels or spinning mine. So I do need this information. It's very key for me in order to see if I'm even going to direct you to one of our properties or not. So once we ask these questions, once we put them back in check, if they're not willing to give us this information, yeah, that's okay. Well, John, obviously you're not willing to give us this information. Maybe this program isn't for you. I wish you the best of luck. You maybe give me a shout back if you open up a little bit and you want to tell me some more information on putting you on these properties. But you don't want to deal with people that are going to be a-holes up front with you, because that's who's going to be in your property for 18 to 24 months. If they're going to be very difficult with you now, think about how they're going to be during the process, or when you need to go collect your rent money, or there's a problem with it, or whatever you need to do. You need to keep that kind of thing in mind. So you've got the golden nugget. You've got what they want. The information that you're getting from them is absolutely key. So once you've gathered the information that you need, the next piece of information is, well, how soon were you looking to get into something, John? They'll tell you, as soon as I can. Everybody's as soon as I can. Well, great. Well, let me do this. I've got, we've got properties that I know of that are all over. I've got some that are accounted for, some that are not. Let me take your information right now, do a little bit of homework. I need to do some research. I actually need to talk to my partner as well to see what they've done today, what they've promised, or what they've taken deposits on. And as soon as I've got some information back from them, I'll give you a shout back and let you know where we stand. If I don't have anything available for you right now, what I'll do is I'll keep your name, I'll keep your number and your contact information and what you're looking for, and then I will I'll give you a shout back when I do have something. So what you're doing here is you're creating that buyer's database that we've talked about in class and harped on, because you're going to have more buyers than you are sellers. So it's always nice to have a buyer in hand when you have a property owner that's willing to let you work your program on their property. So, and again, that's going to come into play when we're going to ask for 60 days from the seller to make that first payment. If we can put somebody in their property right away, we've just collected 2 months of free rent as well, which is going to be positive cash flow in our pocket. So again, we need to know what's the most they have to put down, what's the most they can afford every single month, when they're looking to move, what their living quarters are right now, what they need, 2, 3, 4 bedrooms, and that's really about it. And take the posture of authority. Remember, you have what they want, and in order for them to get it, they've got to go through you, the gatekeeper, and give you that information. If they're not willing to do it, so long. See ya. Move to the next one. You're going to have a ton of calls off of your signs, and that's another thing. You really want to make sure that you ask them how they heard of you. So, and give everybody the proper thank yous and the referrals and the fees and everything you've promised people. But that's about it for what to say with the buyer on the initial phone call. We will go over soon. I'll put a tutorial together on how to handle the setting up the appointment, sending them out to one of your properties. You want to make sure you're always there. We'll go over that in the next tutorial. But I hope this was helpful. Hope you learned some things on the recap. And if you have any questions, give me an email. Whatever you need to do, in the contact me section, I'll get back with you, and hopefully things are a success for you. Have a great day. Look forward to speaking with all of you soon, and take care. Bye.